Yeah, these thumbnails keep getting crazier and crazier, man. But I'm gonna keep working it out. So what up? It's Ace G. Back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is gonna be, or at least I think the title is gonna be, should I keep looking for another job? So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that subscribe to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the videos out, give you leverage, you better yourselves. Also another admin note. So yesterday I did make a video. Normally I make videos every day during the week at the very least. But yesterday's energy was kind of off. Not exactly sure the energy was actually portrayed in the video. But my mom, unfortunately, she's in the hospital right now. She has fluid on her heart. So she has like some really it's hard for her to breathe. So she got admitted last night in the hospital. So I was on the phone with her. She's like 3 hours away from me. So, that was kind of hard. And then today's my wife's birthday. So yesterday I was running around trying to do things to set up for her birthday on top of my mom being in the hospital, right? So I got two women that are very important to me that I was busy for yesterday. So when I made the video, it just seemed like the energy was kind of off, right? So I may post that video, but it might be a while. I'm not exactly sure. I just have to look at it again and see what the deal is. But just like yesterday, today is a very beautiful day out here, downtown here, when I got my latte made with oat milk. So yeah, it's a real nice day out here today. And normally on a day like this, what's the day? Thursday? So Thursday, I would have been at work. I would have been in DC today. But unfortunately, I've been furloughed, like I said before on this channel. And it's been a little bit over a month now. And, the first 2 weeks, it was like, I was really, really, really anxious about trying to get another job. I didn't have anxiety. It wasn't like I was like anxious to get another job because of the money. Because by the grace of God, I was able to put money away and I have residual income, right? So I wasn't catastrophizing and I wasn't like really, really, really scared about not having a job at this time, because I can float for a good little while, right? So it wasn't that. It was like my mind has been trained so much to have a job that when I didn't have one anymore, or at least I wasn't going to work, it bothered me. You know what I'm saying? It just really did. Like, I should be up right now getting ready for work and I wasn't, right? So, it was bad. I was on my laptop every single day applying for multiple jobs. I think right now, at this point, I probably have received at least 20 rejection letters. I'm not even exaggerating, yo. 20 rejection letters, meaning like what, emails? They weren't letters, they were emails. A couple of times, the person actually even texted me and called me, right? So what I will say is that a lot of the recruiters and a lot of companies around here, they will give you the courtesy to like really interact with you and try to work with you. It was like some automated thing that was impersonal. Like a lot of these folks was really legit about, I'm sorry, we couldn't hire you, but we have your resume on file. We're gonna keep looking. I got two recruiters right now that are still looking to this day, and they rejected me like 2 weeks ago, and they've been still emailing me other jobs and everything. So around in the DMV area, and I'm saying, like, especially if you're in the government space, a lot of folks do try to help you out, right? Even though I'm not in the government space anymore, but I was trying to get back into that. But that's a segue to what I'm going to say right now, right? And I really had to put this in perspective a couple of days ago, maybe about 2 days ago, because, my bread and butter since I've been out the Army has always been to have a government contracting job, right? And this job I had in DC was not a government contracting job. It was a nonprofit, but I was on salary. Contracting, as I said before, is very volatile. I was looking for a job every 2 years because sometimes the contract would be like kind of shaky, and stuff would be up for rebid, and government contracts is crazy. It just really is, especially around this area. But it pays a lot, right? It paid a lot, and I had a certain background check, which I'm pretty sure folks in the military understand what I'm talking about. where I was able to secure jobs like this that paid a lot of money, right? And I've been doing stuff like this for a very long time, even when I was in the Army. And a couple of years ago, I was, sitting at work, at my government contracting job, and something just came over me, man. It just really did, and it was like one of those things, like, I do not want to do this anymore. It wasn't that I didn't want to do IT anymore. It was that I did not want to be in that type of environment anymore. I didn't want to be in a government contract environment anymore. It started to mess with my mental. It started to mess with my peace. It just really did, you know what I'm saying? And, I would think that being in uniform and being deployed all the time would have messed with my peace, but it didn't. When I became a civilian and became a government contract and I was in certain spaces, it really started to bother with my peace. It just really did. And I remember saying this, and I forgot to ask God this, so I really did. But I remember asking God around that time frame that I want to go to DC and I want to be out of government contracting. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, right? And, but I just asked him. You have not because you ask not, right? And sure enough, within a year, the contract I was on was being shaky. And a recruiter actually contacted me first, right? I had been in contact with other government contracting recruiters, but this one recruiter had contacted me from this third party that was a part of the nonprofit that I work for right now that I'm furloughed from, and they sought me out. One of the easiest interviews I ever had in my life, right? And to this day, that job has paid me more than my government contracting jobs did, right? So I asked God for that, and he granted me my desire. I'm not shocked about that, because I know God can do all things, right? I just didn't think he was going to do it in that fashion, but he did. So, fast forward to present, right now I'm furloughed and I'm trying to get back into the government contracting space because that's my bread and butter and that's what I know more than anything else, right? And every single turn that I take is not going anywhere. Like I'm applying for jobs. I know I'm qualified. Shoot, one job I applied for about a week ago, the guy contacted me yesterday, sent me an email and text me and told me that the hiring manager said no because I was overqualified for the position. Now, what I would say is that he's right. I was overqualified and it didn't pay as much. But my thought process was that was one of the jobs that I actually had sought after when I went to that job fair about a week ago. If anybody been watching my channel, you just saw me in my suit, right? So that was one of the jobs and the recruiters that I talked to at that job fair. So even though it wasn't paying a lot of money, right, it was a connection. I actually talked to this person face to face, right? Somebody at the very least I can get my foot into the door and then pivot and actually move up in that space and get more money because I've done it before. When I was in government contract, I would move 2-3 different spots to get more money. It was too easy. But the hiring manager pretty much said that, hey, you just are too overqualified. Like what we're paying you, I guess the mentality was that because of the job description and because what they were going to pay me, they probably felt like I wouldn't have lasted long there. They might be right. I don't know. I mean, at the very least, I probably wouldn't have lasted long in that position. I probably would have tried to pivot as quickly as possible. But when folks hire for jobs like that, especially in the government contracting space, they want somebody to be at least about 2 years. And I don't think I'd have been there for about 2 years. So the hiring manager probably did do the right thing. I'm not even going to front about that. But that's all to say is that, every single turn that I'm taking, every single venture that I'm trying to get at is not working out, right? And I'm not saying I'm going to give up trying to find a job, but my thought process now is like, should I keep looking? Should I just go ahead and just, scale my personal business and just scale YouTube and not be concerned about a job? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. This is something I have to really pray about. This is something I have to consult my wife about, obviously, because, at the end of the day, any type of financial decision, if you are a husband right now and you don't include your wife, Yeah, man, it's not gonna turn out too well for you. I don't care if you're the alpha of the relationship. I don't care if you're the breadwinner. I do not care, man. You have to have your wife's at least input or opinion. Right now, you're gonna have the last say because you're the man of the house. I'm not even gonna front about that. You know what I'm saying? But I have come to find out in my old age and with me being married almost 21 years, when I didn't include my wife in my financial decisions, it didn't turn out well. Right? So yeah, I'm always gonna involve her. So like I talked to her about it. But yeah, I mean, man, I'm telling you, it's becoming very exhausting to try to find a job now. It just really is. It's 2025 for anybody that's been watching this video years from now. It's actually April of 2025, and it's during the Trump administration for historical context. And yeah, the job market is straight trash right now. It really is. Like I did not want to say that initially because I was in the mentality like, you know, as long as your skill set is good enough, you should be fine. And I do believe that to a certain degree. I still do believe that. But when it comes to just your normal person not trying to find a job or not getting a job that pays enough to pay bills, yeah, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. So yeah, I have to admit the job market is trash right now. It really is. So with me, you know, trying to find a job, is like the more I try to find a job, the more my mind is like, man, forget a job. I just need to work for myself. I'm serious, man. I'm dead serious. And you know, I created my LLC years ago when I lost my job because I did not want to be in a position to where, you know, I had to depend on a job to take care of me for a long period of time and actually have everything set on that job, right? But, you know, of course, the mentality is still there that I still needed to work. I still needed to have a job. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, because the world needs workers. That's the nature of the beast. Not everybody's going to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody's going to be a business owner. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can be a business owner. The mentality has to be different, right? But even before I made this YouTube channel, my mind state and my mindset about money and about finances and just about work in general has started to change and shift very drastically. Like seriously, like, I do not have a worker's mentality anymore. I love my job in DC. If the job actually comes through and the furlough gets lifted and I start getting paid again, they bring us back, I will go back. I'm not even gonna front about that. I will, because I loved being in DC. I loved doing videos in DC. I loved the job that I was at. It paid a lot. The benefits was awesome, right? So I'm not saying I wouldn't go back to my job, but they gave it back to me. But, you know, let's say if I never got, if that job winds up laying me off because they don't get funding and the job just disappears, right? Is it worth me going through the painstaking effort to try to get another job when I already have an LLC, I already have an EIN number, I already have a business plan, I already have the logos that I have my business? Like, should I just go ahead and just start the business and just say forget a job? It's I don't think it's not gonna be a hard decision, but it's gonna be a life-changing decision. It really is, because I know how I am as a person, and if I really decide to do this and I just put everything into my business, right, and I just, like, I don't even concern myself with trying to get a job anymore ever again. I just run my business and that's how I make money. If that happens, y'all, I'm never going back to a job. Like, seriously, like, it's over and done with. If I actually put my mind to it and I actually just say, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to scale my business and that's how I make money, I will never, ever, ever go back to a job. I just won't. No. It's not going to happen. Now, when I have residual income that I can fall back on if the business fails. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of times when folks lose jobs, they don't have a nest egg. They don't have residual income. They don't have a cushion they can use to float, right? Floating will save your life, man. It really will. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a situation right now to where if you lose your job right now, Lord willing, you haven't lost your job. But let's say you do, right? Hold on, y'all. It's summertime, man, so it's bugs out here with springtime. But you know, if you're in a situation right now where you know if you lost your job right now, you cannot float, that is a really, 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 really dangerous situation you're in right now, especially if you got a family. Because if you cannot spare to miss at least 2 to 3 paychecks, I'll give you an example. Let's say you cannot spare to miss at least 2 months of work. Like literally, you cannot float for 2 months. That is a serious problem. Because if you cannot do that, that means that you're 2 months away from being homeless and losing everything. Folks got to stop living paycheck to paycheck, man. I'm telling you. Because the world don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? They care about results. So, if you're in a situation to where, you're living paycheck to paycheck, nobody's going to be coming to your rescue to try to save you, right? They're just not. So, when I made this channel, one of the things I always used to preach up here, and I still try to do to this day, is to, at the very least, start a business. Start an LLC and create a business, right? Even if you have the LLC and you're not doing anything with it, just keep it. Pay your fee once a year, and it's already there. You already have your LLC in place. You already have your EIN number in place. Make sure you get a logo. I paid like $300 to a guy that I knew in high school to make it for me. And you chat GPT to build a business plan. It's too easy, man. You can do all this stuff within a couple of days. Maybe I think from the time I got my LLC, the LLC, it took a day. EIN, a day. So the only thing that took a while was the logo. Oh, and I had to get a bank account, a business checking account. But all together, that took maybe like 4 days at the most. Might have been 3, but I think it might have been 4. And you have that in your hip pocket as something you can fall back on, right? If you lose your job. Because, when we lose jobs, man, especially this day and age, it's not a good look at all. It's it can be very devastating for a lot of folks. But I know in my mental state right now, once again, it's really getting kind of monotonous to get on my laptop in the morning for the last month, search for jobs, apply to at least 4. I gotta apply to these 2 because if I don't apply to these 2, I don't get my unemployment from the DC, which was a kind of crazy situation as well because I live in Virginia but work in DC. So I was kind of confused, like, where should I file unemployment at? Should I file unemployment with DC or Virginia? And it was DC, right? So I think DC pays me more if I file in Virginia anyways. That's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, like, it's getting very monotonous to just keep searching for a job when I already have a business already in place and I can just scale that. So anyways, drop the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think. This is going to be a very, very, very life-changing decision that I make if I make this decision. I could want to get my job back in DC. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? There is some news that I actually got yesterday about that situation that was not bad news. It was actually good news. As of right now, it's very possible I may be going back to DC for the next couple of weeks with that job, But, more to follow on that one. But I really want to hear y'all opinion as far as like what you think I should do. Of course, I'm a consult God, so I mean that's I don't even have to even mention that. Like, I mean that's obvious, right? So I'm definitely going to consult God about it. But because you guys are on this channel and you guys are subscribed, you guys could be just just breezing through your feed, and this video just came up on your feed. I still want y'all opinion, what I'm saying, because sometimes when you get an outside perspective on things, it gives you more clarity. I'm able to, pivot and make decisions based off of opinions of other folks, but also, mixing my opinion in it as well. And then also consulting God about it and having God give me clarity and perspective on what I should do, all right? So you may discuss this topic or subject, then it benefits your channel. Email me asog757@gmail.com. My email address, description below. Say so G signing out. I'm gone.